ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. We are going to start a new series here, and it is going to be me doing a let's play of Oxygen Not Included. So I have played a lot of this game. However, something I have not done that I want to do is actually finish the game. And I say that because I have never gone through the temporal tear. And that's what we're going to do, is try and get to the temporal tear. A couple other things I really want to focus on. I really need to get better at taming volcanoes. Got to work on it. But I also really want to get a good industrial brick setup because I have been working on doing those. So, without further ado, I am going to be keeping this to a fairly vanilla game of Oxygen Not Included. Everybody say hello to the opening crew. So we're going to have Lindsay, who's going to be our builder. We're going to have Ren, who is a big pick him up and put him down dupe. And we're going to have Otto, who's going to be our rancher and our cook forever. So that's going to be really nice. All right, so that's going to be a welcome to the messy planet, and we will embark. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So looking around our starting asteroid, first thing I am looking for is water. We've got a little bit right up here. We've got a good amount here and a good amount here. So we've got a solid water reservoir here that can tap down into this even. Looks like we've got a slime biome down here, so there's going to be some polluted water down here. Eventually what we can do is drain this water over and then drain all that down into here. Where am I going to put my bedrooms? Which need to be 6 tiles wide. And then where am I going to put my bathroom, which needs to be 5 tiles wide? I am going to go ahead and put a ladder shaft right on this, I believe, down into here so I can get this water. So that down to here. And then we'll put a little cheeky little water pump down there, which means we can do our bathroom right here. I think it's a 4x3. I think it might be a 5x3. I'll have to double check. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right. Step 1, pitcher pump. It's going to go right here. All right, then we're going to replace this dig command with a ladder build command instead. Looks like we're going to need some metal ore. I don't know why these dupes are digging that high. I was not paying attention when I put in the dig command. My apologies. That's where the roof is going to go. I am going to need these stoops to take a look at this copper ore. I'm going to need a little bit of it. So I'm going to have them dig all the way out to that. And that is specifically because I'm going to need a door. Alright, let's see here. Not a furniture. Those are the cots. Wash basin is going to be necessary right here. Cot number 1, 2, and 3. Ooh. Actually, cots. Everybody's gonna get their quilt cots. We brought your blankets from your grandmother's house. It's okay, everybody. You'll get to sleep, and it'll be really, really nice. Those are unreachable. That's fine for now. The room is still closed in. I think it even still counts as a barracks. Yep. All right, so as soon as we get this tile done, which I really want them to get done before dark. Is that not big enough to be a latrine? Toilet, wash station, minimum size 12 tiles. It's 13 tiles. It has a, oh, the toilet's not in. All right, and that's a latrine. All right, now just making sure that before the end of the day we can get this water. So I'm going to increase the priority of this all to 6 just to make sure that they do it before any of this. So I want to make sure that it's done before they get to bed. I know, guys, there's not a lot of oxygen down there. This oxalite's doing the best it can. I can put an oxygen diffuser in, and probably should. And connect them to a manual generator right here. There's a long run of wire for the oxygen that's going to be used there, but... for those of you wondering, yes, it was intentional that I left a gap between the oxygen diffuser and the battery, and that is so that way eventually what I can do is swap that out with a bigger battery. Because these batteries are garbage. You can do it! You got this, Lindsay! Yeah, they'll keep causing problems. Asshole. Alright, what's Ren doing? Ren got us some water, I think. Okay, he's gonna work. He delivered for the other one. You know what? Let's see if we can get away with 2. I don't want to upgrade. I don't want to uproot all these natural plants yet. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. Ren, you look bored. Oh, were you waiting to poop? Okay. He was waiting to poop. Patiently waiting to poop. Look at him holding that door shut. Like someone's gonna kick it in. Alright, kids, everybody to bed. Hurry, Ren, wash your hands, everybody to bed. Run, 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 run. Alright, so I am going to need to either build a 3rd bathroom or... What was this? This was a bristle blossom. I don't want to lose another one, though. Well, they have to be illuminated anyway. It's fine. Okay. We'll build a 3rd outhouse so that way all the dudes will have their own outhouse, which means they can all poop together, I guess. So what I'm deciding is where to put, like, my research station, my food station, right? One is the research station. A dude is going to spend a lot of time at the research station, but also that dupe is going to need easy access to water. So I think I'm actually going to put it here because then I can also just branch off of this power wire to grab it, or to power the station, which I think will be great. Now, I don't have access to a mess table yet. Maybe that's research? Hold on, let me look it up in the database. Mess table. Oh yeah, it comes from meal preparation. Okay. Alright, dudes, wakey wakey, day 2. Let's get to it, bitches. Alright, so, as soon as she's done deconstructing that bed, I'm gonna move the door over so I can deconstruct the other door. Otto, man, you gotta get that outhouse built. You wanna poop somewhere tonight? Gotta get that outhouse built, bud. Alright. So now we can move over our door, deconstruct the old door. The ladder is good and going up. This does also mean now I finally have the room to come up here and close this in, which means I can safely start digging this out. Alright, what did we just get access to? Let's see. This will be good. We're going to make sure that this is Lindsay's bed and she knows that it is. She's a good girl. Alright, I do need to get a tile right there so that way dudes can step into that area. I am eventually planning on making this a research station, especially since it is so close to our water production. How's the research going, Otto? Oh, I'm sorry, I need to give you dirt. Alright, looks like Lindsay is building our storage container down here. This is where all our algae is going to go for a little bit, so that way dupes can bring the algae here and then very quickly put it up whenever they're ready to go. Looks like we also did get our first research done, so we're piling right into meal prep. Thank you very much, Otto. While you're doing that, I am going to go ahead and get kind of the second level over here put together. Good job, everybody. Pat, 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 pat. Ah. Why are you not using this basin? Oh, because you were just in there deconstructing. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Sorry. I questioned you. I should not have. I apologize. What is this? Leper. That's fine. Go ahead and dig it up. Alright, so the next thing that has to happen is I do need to put a mess table station, or a mess hall together. So I want to take a quick look at the room overlay. For a mess hall, it needs to be 12 tiles, it needs to have a mess table, and it cannot have any industrial machinery. That's it. That does give a +3 to morale, which is huge. So, with that +3 to morale, hopefully we will have everybody coming in here, grabbing their food. We're going to have them come right up this ladder over here, and then we're going to have them eat right here. So our first mess hall is going to be just right here above this hall. So we're going to set it up like this. Rooms. This one is going to need a door over here. I can actually leave this open over here. I don't have to close that in yet. And I don't have to dig up all this excess stuff, so I can have just all this up here. So yeah, as soon as we get our planter box available. Alright, so this is where all our algae is going to go. Ooh. Somebody got chili, I guess. Okay, so Otto's going to work on the mess hall. Good job. Alright. We're coming up to the end of this first research. I need to figure out if I want to branch or not. I really should start working on power. But I think, honestly, the water cooler is probably going to be a big one, because I think that's what gets me from a mess hall to a dining room. But plumbing is also very important. Yeah, so I can start work on oxylizers. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start on plumbing. Nope. We're going to finish where we were at, and then we will start on plumbing. Sorry, Ren. Didn't mean to scare you. Go ahead. Lindsay, honey, you doing okay? Oh, you have soggy feet. Oh, because it's leaked. Okay, that's what happened. Actually, I don't even have to do any of that. I can just do that and just mop this shit. Thank you. Okay. Soggy feet give you a negative to morale, and they also give you... oh, they don't give you a negative to morale, but they do give you stress. And I don't like stress, because stress is scary. Very, very scary. Alright, so we did finish basic farming. We have no more research selected. We're going to grab that, and we're going to move into plumbing. Okay, so the colony is letting me know that we do need to get a food source put together. So I'm probably going to go ahead and put a micro musher up here. Just that way we do have access to one. I can also put it right here because it does need power and it does not need to be in a kitchen. So that's actually probably a really good point. I do now have access to the electric grill and the farm tiles, which means I can start growing meal lice. But if I absolutely had to live off of sludge, I need a micro musher to be able to do it. That is our first blueprint of the game. It's cycle 3. Alright, so let's take a look at what we got. A whole lot of sandstone, some shine nymphs, which will just make everybody angry, and 2 new duplicates. To be honest, I have 4 cycles of food left. For the 3 duplicates I have 5. If I take a 4th, I lose a whole cycle, and I don't think I can do that right now. So I'm going to take the care package for sandstone. Because I'm not yet confident enough that I'm ready to start mass producing oxygen. Like, I don't really have a water source that I'd be comfortable doing that with. Or would I be comfortable mass producing food? Yeah, because I don't have, like, for example, I'm looking around for things like, these are dust caps. That's big. Dust caps are big because carbon dioxide is easy to produce. But it looks like we're gonna have like sweetles, I guess, which would be roasted grub fruits, which is a good food source. All right. So the next thing I am gonna start evaluating as we wrap up cycle number 3 is gonna be what food I have available to me. So what I need to do is check out my resources. So for seeds, looks like I've got 3 blossoms, 2 mealwoods, and 3 briars. Mealwoods are easy to grow. All they need is dirt. And we've got a lot of it. Hold on, how much dirt do we have? All right, so we've got 7 tons of dirt. That's actually not that much. Because while everybody's eating, I'm going to go ahead and pull up planter farm tiles. So the farm tile takes 100 kilograms a day. Or no, it takes 100 kilograms to grow, or to build. And then if you put a mealwood in it, that mealwood needs fertilization of 10 kilos a day of dirt. So at 7 tons, that's actually plenty. So we can go ahead and get mealwood up and running. So to do that, I'm just going to put a small farm area over here, I think. So another thing is duplicants. Duplicants need 1,000 calories, I do believe, a day. Where, Lindsay, did you get food poisoning? Hold on. Girl, you better wash your hands when you leave that goddamn bathroom. I swear to God, Lindsay. Lindsay. What are you doing? How? Where did you get food poisoning? I guess? Whatever. Anyway, okay. So, Jesus. We're probably going to have to make some mush bars just to make sure people don't starve. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and get some farm tiles down. Farm tiles are wonderful because they can be the base of a room. So there's going to be 5 there. However, these are probably going to change to... Actually, you know what? Hold on. Because I think a planter box is actually cheaper. Let me check. Planter box is built from 100 kilos of dirt. It's just above ground. The farm tile is 100 kilos of dirt. And it is the floor tile. So I do want the farm tiles if they are the same. I was thinking about ultimately changing these to hydroponics, but when I do, if or when I did run them on hydroponics, I'd want to run them on hydroponics by themselves anyway. Okay. This will leave me with 3 rows. I do believe it only has to be 2 high for mealwood to grow. That's a problem. I can't get through this granite. Fuck. Shit. Alright, so that's going to be farm tiles. So I need 5 per duplicant. So there's 5. There's 5. And there's 5. So I don't have to dig out too much more. That's good. This is going to be enough for my 3 duplicants worth of food. I will eventually want a 4th duplicant, so I can go ahead and do this. And then what I can do here is go ahead and queue this dig up. And then dupes won't be able to do it because they won't be able to reach it through this wall that I'm not digging through, so I can just punch through the wall whenever I'm ready to go. All right, everybody, you got your marching orders. Day number 4, here we go. Otto's doing his job. He's going ahead and getting started on the digging. He's delivering some dirt to Ren. Ren is, of course, currently working on our plumbing research, which he is about to finish. And for that, then, thinking about the food needs that we do have, I believe what we're going to do is go back up here to food, and we're going to start working on agriculture, but that does require the supercomputer. So instead, we'll go ahead and take a quick detour through Advanced power. Damn it. I keep forgetting. Okay. I really wish they would just allow me to queue things in this game. It makes me mad. Okay. Alright. Yes. So, mush bars, preferable to starving. Not that great. We have a good amount of muck root available to us. 6,400 calories. It's 3 days worth of food right there. Ren, baby, you alright? That was weird. Ren was stuck on the research station. There he goes. Ooh, Lindsay took over. That'll be fun. Okay, so there's one of the mealwood seeds. He's going to go ahead and get that planted. That's really good. Now, you get seeds on harvest, so this is the other really scary moment. I am not going to have enough food for these duplicants for a few days. So I am going to have to subject them to mush bars if I don't find any more muck root buried anywhere. Now, there's a lot of buried stuff. Like, I could probably go ahead and dig this area up real quick and find a shitload of buried stuff. In fact, let me just go ahead and put the damn door down. And then... whenever you get a minute, buddy. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. Again, like, we can take a look here and see what that thing is, what this is, what either of these are or that. All these buried objects, where you see this item here where it says buried object in it, it's almost always muck root. It's an early food, and it's good access. Like, we're back up to 1,700 calories almost already. So... yeah, these guys are they're just gonna take a while to get this done, and that's fine. I have another mealwood seed I found, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant that one. Now, what we can do is go ahead and deconstruct this battery, so that way we can make a new jumbo battery. So you can see that I brought this over, so that way I could put a second battery down. Actually, now that I look at this, if I'd have put it right next to it, given that it's on the right instead of the left, I could have saved myself the... extra iron ore. Alright. Who wants to work by themselves? Is it Lindsay, Ren, or Otto? You know what? We'll wait. Y'all can stay on the same station for a little while. You'll be alright. Now, the reason Otto's manually on that generator is because there is no battery connected to this line right now because it hasn't been built yet. Which means that he has to power it to power the life support. And that's what's getting it the highest rating. And it looks like Lindsay's going to go ahead and finish building out the food storage, which is the food placement, which is very nice. Oh, sorry, I can copy these settings across. Oh, thanks for the help, Ren. Keep forgetting Ren's the dig dupe. Alright, Otto's gonna keep running on that until that battery is full, but then he shouldn't have to touch it for about 2 days. That's weird. Anyway. Alright, looks like these guys are finding some more muck root here, there, and everywhere, which is really good. We're back up to 1,400 calories. So we've still got just over 4 days. We actually just hit 5. We now have access to 5 days worth of food, so we're safe to cycle 10. Which, cycle 8 is going to be probably our first meal ice harvest, so we should be okay. So, now that there are just 2 bathrooms, because I am tired of people sneaking around with germs, I am going to go ahead and split the schedule And I'm going to put Ren, I believe, on his own schedule, because Ren is the person who's doing all of his digging. And this is just going to be shift schedule 1, which means I am going to shift this the other way. Yeah, I'm going to shift that the other way so that way Ren can have his downtime, still go to the bathroom, and then get a full night's sleep. So Ren is currently in his downtime, so if we look at this schedule, that means that right now is bedtime for Lindsay and Otto, and then Ren is actually in his downtime, but he's already had his downtime, so he's already gone to the bathroom. He doesn't need to... Oh, we found a hatch. Son of a bitch, we found a hatch. That means I immediately need to get ranching, and in order to get ranching, I have to get the supercomputer up, which means we're not going to brute force, we're going to advanced research after that. That's amazing, because what I can do is I can do my first pip ranch right here, because the only reason I dug this out was to get to those buried objects. So this is the amount of space necessary for a singular hatch, this 3x4 square. A stable, a stable, can be up to 96 tiles. So, in order to get as many hatches in here as we can, so that way we can feed people with that tasty, delicious barbecue, we want a... we want a room as big as we can make it. So, notably, I can't get through this wall to my left yet. I need super duper hard digging, and I don't think anyone has a skill point. Notably, Ren does. Actually, thank you, Ren. Look at you. We're going to put your digging hat on. 10 out of 10. Where's Ren? We're going to give that man a little pat, 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 pat on the head. All right. So then, that actually changes this whole equation. So this room, if I go over to here, is 95 tiles. So that is because it's too high. Notably, I only ever want a room to be 4 tiles high, not 5. So that's 4 tiles high. 96 is right there. Now, this abuts into some dangerous territory. This is all slime. If we look at this germs overlay, this is coated in slime lung. I don't want anything to do with slime lung. So I'm actually just not going to come over here. I'm going to go ahead and zip this room out to be about... All right, let's see. 56 is just over half. If I actually creeped it down to this 48, I could do another 48 room up here and have them share... Or I could just do another ranch up here, because 48 is enough for 4. So it'd be 2 ranches with 4 critters each. But one of the bigger things about ranches is that you want them to... you want them to be confined into one area. So what we do usually is... Let me go ahead and cancel this dig, because I'm also not going to do that. I'm actually not even going to do this one. I'm going to build a wall right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the roof open between these two, so that way there's a shared space right here. So let me go ahead and put what will be my door down. That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's going to be my door. Let's go ahead and get our ladder brought up here now. Have that take that tile out. This is also going to need to get a ceiling tile put in, so that way that stays a latrine. And then what we'll do is we'll put our shearing station down here, and we'll put a wall up, so that way the hatches actually can't get past it. And we're going to do that by creating a 3-high wall, which is just going to be a door with a tile on top of it. And there's still going to be an open space here, so this is all going to be considered one contiguous room, which means you can fit all of those hatches, but they'll all be right here the entire time. So they're easy to feed. They're going to be easy to domesticate, because you have to pet them every day to domesticate them. Lindsay also earned a skill point. What'd she get? All right, what are we giving Lindsay? It's obviously improved construction, right? You want to put your builder hat on, honey? Thank you. We made sure to tape the pencil onto the side. No more accidents, all right? Why was Otto holding his breath? This is not very breathable. Okay, another thing that needs to happen. We need to bring an oxygen diffuser up here. I'm going to put it right here. Because that means I can put it on the exact same power wire without worrying about it. And it'll feed over into this room just nice and easily. No one will have a problem with it. Why hasn't anybody built this wash basin yet? What are you all doing? Hello? Please build this bathroom. All right, and that was the first piece of research we needed. We're working on advanced research now, so it's going to be advanced research. It's going to take us a second to get the supercomputer built. So as we're building the supercomputer, I think I'm going to pop over and just grab internal combustion. So that way, once the hatches are branched, we can get coal, which gets us off of wheel power. Well, not off of wheel power, but it's going to supplement that wheel power very nicely. All right, work is progressing on the hatch ranch. Love that. Otto is finishing up the supercomputer needs real quick. I think that's a 3x3. I'm gonna go ahead and get that dug out while we have a moment. All right, she's on there because this battery needs to be charged. I think because it's a much bigger battery, let's drop down to about 30%. And we have a new printable. Again, so looking at my calorie count, I'm down to 13,000. I've lost 3,000 calories over the last day, and I haven't really produced any more food yet. I am still days away from my first mealwood plant, at least one day away from my first mealwood plant. I'm not comfortable bringing on a new duplicate yet. The two things that are really important is food and oxygen. We're doing okay on oxygen. We have a good amount of water, so if we needed to switch to a mini spawn, we could. But I think what's going to be most important is picking some food, if there's some food in here. There is some muckroot. That is almost 2 entire days of muckroot. Thank you. We will take that. Love it. All right. So Lindsay should be getting off of this relatively quickly. Oh, I bet. So I'm pretty sure what just happened there is that this oxygen diffuser was getting powered directly from the generator instead of from the battery because of the way I had it hooked up, because I'm dumb. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's good, good, good. All right. So Ren's down here digging again, which is great. I need to get this research going for agriculture, which I think I cannot do until... okay, so it's internal combustion for now. I need to get the supercomputer down. So there's my supercomputer station. I'm gonna go ahead and extend my battery or wire. That will be good for a little bit. It'll be okay, Otto. There's more oxygen. It's coming. It's coming. This carbon dioxide will compress really quickly. Everybody will be okay. Good job. Otto, Lindsay, thank you for washing your hands. Sick and tired of you all being monstrous bastards. Wash your damn hands. All right. And you can see now that Otto and Lindsay have already used the bathroom because their downtime came first. And the first thing a duplicate does during downtime is go to the bathroom. So I only need... There's that damn hatch. How old is this hatch? Hold on. Welcome up. Good morning. Thank you, Lindsay. That's what I needed you to do. All right. I actually do not want you disinfecting these toilets anymore. Everyone's washing their hands now. Just wash your hands when you're done. That's all I ask. I'm sure Ren loves the sound of Lindsay on a conveyor belt 3 feet from his face while he's trying to sleep. Poor guy. All right. Oh, there's our first harvest. Thank God. Did we get seeds? We didn't get seeds from either of those? This is just the plus 2 to agriculture. I did bring Otto's agriculture to 6. Hold on. Priorities. Otto. His agriculture score was 6. Where's Otto? Let me look at this. Oh, he was busy, but I need to make sure Otto is the only one harvesting plants because he's the one that has seed chance because of his agriculture score. So, in order to do that, I'm going to go back here to priorities. I'm actually going to disallow farming for all dupes except Otto. You may have noticed we're up to 22,000 kilocalories. We've dug up a lot of muckroot. So we've got almost 5 days worth of muckroot. We have just over 5 days worth of muckroot. Lindsay has trapped herself down here. This was my fault. I asked her to dig these. I don't know why she did them before this. So, Lindsay, my sweet, we'll get you a tile so that you can get out of here. Don't worry, dear. Ren's on the way. Okay, now Lindsay can get out. So I don't know what she's throwing a fit about. Other than suffocating. I realize she's throwing a fit because she's suffocating, but like, I don't know why she's bothering. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with this door. So you put a door, which critters will not go through, and a tile above that door, because otherwise critters will just jump up onto the door. Critters cannot jump 3 high. Nothing can. There are critters that fly or roam around on roofs. We'll talk about alternate penning methods for them. But in general, so what this means is that as this room continues to open up, you can look at this. This is 53 tiles. This is already 22. When I put these together, they should be less than 96 as a total. And what that'll do is allow me to, I'm actually just gonna cancel this topper just to make sure I don't go over it because of the way this wall is shaped. All right, cool. Ren got an athletics point. We love that. Who else got one? Oh, it was just Ren's. Okay. All right, and we did get another blueprint for reaching day 6, which I missed. I apologize. What did we get? The ick yellow microbe musher? I love this. I've never seen a skin for the microbe musher before. Oh, that's cool. Ugh, it is disgusting. I hate it. Thanks. Now, this is interesting. I forgot that if you add water, you get lice loafs, which does increase the quality of the food from grizzly to terrible. But I'm also pretty sure you can take that lice loaf and fry it. Mush fries, omelets, bristleberries, pickled meal. So the mush fry does improve upon the mush bar, which is good. So I think the big thing here is that you don't have to have a duplicate pass it through the grill. But what you can do is make... you can turn water into additional calories, which we need for a minute. But in addition to the additional calories, you can also make it better to eat, which is really nice. So I'm actually going to queue up one of these, I think, for now. And see how well that works out for whoever gets to eat it. So you can see that I'm keeping an eye on my mealwood seeds over here. I want to see as they get planted across this room. As soon as we're comfortable that these are all full, then I'm going to go ahead and pop into this wall and dig this out so I can put down the 5th row of plants. But because I'm so low on oxygen, you know, I say that as if we're not at 1,800 grams, we're fine. So I think it's time to go ahead and pop through this wall too, just so I can get this drained. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Somebody's going to get their feet wet and they're going to get mad. Oh my god. Girl, what are you doing in there and why? Oh, because you can reach that now. My bad. Well, you're the one that wanted to keep being there, so it's your own fault. I'm gonna leave that closed. I don't think she'll go back in there. No! Thank you, Lindsay. Jesus. Okay, there we go. It'll level out here in a minute. But yeah, I was not particularly paying attention. I'm gonna go ahead and dig out like this wall section right here, just enough. Alright, so I am gonna come over here and just do this. Well, to here, I guess. And then I'll go ahead and stair step this off like this. Ren, why'd you do that? That's some interesting noises. I've never heard those before. Okay, well, he can still get over here and finish this up, which is good. I don't know if he needed to come down here just yet, but that's fine, Ren. All right, Lindsay's on the wheel again. Otto's researching. Ren's doing all the work, of course. We are doing well with mealwoods. Like we've got another day for those plants. That's going to be cycle 10 on my second harvest even. If you get stuck down there, Ren, I need you to move right now. Thank you. Oh, I was gonna be so mad. Oh, I was gonna be so fucking mad. Lindsay almost gave him the cast of Amontillado sequence. Just fucking boop. Goodbye. Your doom. I wish dudes would do these in order. Thank you. Lindsay just having some pleasant chit chat. Now her feet are cold. All right. This is our third printing pod. Again, I don't think I'm ready. I don't know. I think I might actually be ready for a new dupe. I'm up to 27 calories. I'm not concerned about my oxygen production, and I could really use some more labor. So thinking about what kind of dupe I want to bring in on towards the end of the Messy Planet Day 1. Let's think about this. So I need to split up cooking and ranching. It's not a good idea to have them on the same person because those are both very labor-intensive moments. So I'm kind of looking at, for example, Catalina. Catalina's got farming. She's got researching and suit wearing, so she could bounce around the way the Otto is right now. She gets a great food bonus. She has germ resistance. I don't care about menace. She is, however, kitchen menace, which means she can't really cook that fast. But I don't want her to cook. I could just have Otto take over the cooking. So I'm thinking this Catalina, looking at everybody else, can't do doctoring, whatever. Increased agriculture, love that, but you have tidying and researching. So I think I'm actually just going to leave you alone. Food bonus, morale, cannot do medicine. Building and supplying. Honestly, I think this +3 on the agriculture from the Catalina is best. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome Catalina, the kitchen menace, to the colony. Catalina is going to immediately get put on schedule number 2 down here with Ren. So that means we've got... I need to name this schedule while I'm thinking about it. Shift 1 and Shift 2. I don't really need shift alarms for either of these, I'm going to be honest. All right, so Catalina's now on Ren's schedule, so they'll be working together, which will be good because Catalina can be working on things like ranching and farming while Ren is building shit. All right, so the first thing we need to do is make sure that Catalina's got a bed and that she understands that there are 2 bathrooms and she needs to use them. And if she doesn't, she's going to get her dick ripped off. And the first thing Catalina does is make herself a problem. Love that. Love that for her. All right. All right, so we're looking really good on this. I want to go ahead and hop up here, core these 3 pieces out. And then that way I can come up here and I can go ahead and close this floor in. And I can start to deconstruct this and then really this. I'm going to move all of this down one level. Y'all might want to finish that floor you just deconstructed because now Otto can't leave. Okay, thanks. All right, so I need to put that station back. That was a refinement compost heap. Badoo, thank you. Right next to a oxygen diffuser that's about to be deconstructed. Which needs to be right underneath a battery, which needs to be deconstructed. And then we're going to take this power cable and we're actually going to come down with it. Batteries take a long time to build and deconstruct. They're very messy. They're very big. They're very complex. They're hard to recycle, and they're hard to tear apart. All right, we are coming up on cycle 10. We have now welcomed our 4th duplicate to the colony. Everyone say hello to Catalina, is enjoying her wonderful little time next to the lamp. Do you like the lamp, Catalina? We built it for you. It was actually here. I'm just kidding. Catalina's sopping wet, and she's mad about it, I'm sure, but I don't care. She is the one that dove directly into the water pit, so it's kind of her fault. So like I said, we're probably just going to continue to extend this water basin over to here. This is probably going to, with the way that I end up building bases, somewhere around here is probably going to end up being my permanent water basin anyway, especially considering this access to polluted water we have around here. Trying to figure out where this is coming from, and I haven't really found it yet, so I'm pretty interested to learn. We are going to rebuild this battery right below this as soon as she gets that torn apart, so that way these will be all back on their business. The only other thing that is really important is I do need to go ahead and crack this open because I need this ready for when Catalina gets her food. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning out some of these natural tiles that I've left around just to get rid of them. If there's anything planted there, obviously I'm gonna leave it, but why is that so noisy? Really, Lindsay? I didn't ask their attitude today. I don't know why you're doing this. You picked it. You chose to do this. You wanted to plunge. It's your own fault. Thank you for washing your hands. I'm tired of you not washing your hands. You're gross, Lindsay. What are you doing anyway? You're just tidying up anyway. All right, you need something else to do. So we've got this cracked open. We have these that need to be built. They're just waiting on things like sandstone, which Catalina is delivering real quick, which is very nice. Oxygen production is back online. Let's go ahead and get this moved down. All right. So as we close up on day 10, doing a little cleanup over here. Go ahead and dig that up. We'll dig up whatever those 2 items are that are right there. This room is done, so now we can check the size on this. This is 93 tiles, and in order to stay stable, it needs to be 96 or less. I do need it to be 96 tiles. So in order to do that, I'm going to remove these 3 tiles and then figure out where I can recoup these 2, or I may just leave those alone. Actually, I really want that tile gone. I don't need to. I'm just going to take these 3. So this is going to move me up to 96, 94, 95, 96. All right, nobody ever needs to come up here again, so I can actually just put some storage containers up here if I really wanted to start cleaning up the base, which I think I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to make them these wonderful blue. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well just go ahead and put this down. So, I'm not saying we're going to immediately run out of dirt. I mean, we can look at our materials overlay real quick, or cultivatable soils. I mean, look at this. There's a huge amount up here. This is all dirt. This is all dirt. There's a great chunk, like there's a good amount of dirt and fertilizer down here. There's a big blob of dirt over here. There's a meteor shower going on, I guess. There is a bunch of clay over here. I actually would love to get over here and see what's over here with this clay. That'll be really nice. But yeah, I think just continuing to explore up. We'll start cleaning up out of this wall, get to all of this dirt, and especially all this copper that's here anyway. We'll get this all cleaned up. We'll dig up these muck roots. That'll be some more good food for a couple days. And then that'll give us kind of the final countdown. The final countdown is going to be how long do we need to sustain mealwood until we're ready to eat hatches. And that's a big question because it depends on how long it takes those hatches to proliferate, because they take a while. All right, I'm actually just going to do everything except... it looks like sublimatables aren't on here yet, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and let these dupes finish this up real quick. And then I think we are going to call it for this episode. So again, we've got our first colony getting started up. We've got Catalina, our wonderful newest addition to the colony. Otto, you dorky little bastard. We have Lindsay, our badass bitch with the giant thighs. And then, of course, we have Ren, who is just the one always taking care of business. So these guys are going to finish their storage area real quick, which is going to be up here in the unused space of the hatch ranch. And then as soon as they're done with that, which, speaking of which, since I am doing this, I'm going to go ahead and replace this floor as well real quick. And as soon as they are done with that, we are going to have... I'm going to go ahead and select brute force refinement, which means we'll be ready to have the rock crusher as soon as we start getting through some of those refined metals we're going to need. And the big thing is I'm waiting for... Ooh. Well, that doesn't matter with Catalina. No, wait, it was going to be... No, Ren got digging. Otto got this. Okay, interesting. Catalina can use the supercomputer. I was going to have her be a farmer. Otto's got a 6 in our agriculture. Hers is a 3. She's a kitchen menace, though. I can't have her in the kitchen. You know? I think I'm going to make Catalina do a lot of research. And no one has this yet. No one has this yet. Yeah, Catalina's going to do the research. So that means we can, in fact... get up here and get our... I want to say get our critter ranching research, but is that the right answer real quick? So... The water sieve. I need it next. I think it'll be the other thing I build. This is the water sieve. So yes, it's going to be... We're still waiting for Otto to get his second skill point so he can ranch. But in the meantime, I can get the ranch built. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get that ranch built. So, Catalina's grabbing her fancy hat. She's going to come down here and she's going to start working on the supercomputer. Supercomputer requires, if I remember right, water. Water per research point. So she's going to have to run down here and grab this and bring up the water. What that also means is that skill-wise, I'm actually going to go ahead and prioritize research for her. And she was disallowed farming anyway. So Otto's still going to be the farmer. She's going to end up being probably research and ranching. It's probably going to be what she's going to end up being, is researching and ranching. Because while research is great, it's not more important than ranching. So I think that's what we'll do. All right, so Sorry, just double checking, researching. We're going to go ahead and disallow this from basically everyone else. There we go. All right, Catalina's back on it. That's great. So Catalina's going to do the only research because I want her to have the highest science score so she can do research very fast. She's also the only one that can do supercomputer research. Now that does mean that nobody else is going to work on the research station while she works on the supercomputer. And I think with only 4 duplicates, that's fine. How many of those mealwoods did we just replant? I was not paying attention. Looks like we have 10 now. So we have 10 active mealwood plants. We may have an 11th right here if Otto gets another seed. He did not. That sucks. Well. Alright. Everybody's finishing their meals. Let's take a quick look at the colony, what we've got so far. So, we have our 20 meal lice set up. So that is enough food for 4 duplicates. Again, we went over the math. Every mealwood plant provides 200 calories a day. Because it takes 3 days to grow 600 calories, so you need, in order to feed a duplicate 1,000 calories a day, which is what they need, you have to have 5 plants per duplicate. So, those 5 plants times the 4 duplicates we have means we have 20 plants. I am keeping an eye on this dirt number. I don't like it. It's very low. Every one of these plants consumes 10 kilos of dirt a day. So this is 200 kilos of dirt a day. So this is a ton every 5 days. So, with that, I have 88 times 5. 400 days. What? No, that's not right. But that is where we stand. So thank you for popping in, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll have another one coming out. I'm aiming for every week. Cannot guarantee that, but I'm aiming for every week to put up another episode of this, and more to come. So if you want to, go ahead and catch me on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/stabbyzaddy, and I hope to catch you all later. Thanks for coming by.